It's the 14th of August, 2016. I'm Dana Durnford, your host of nuclearproctologist.org. And so we're heading down to court tomorrow for calling out the two biggest public speakers in North America. One from the University of Victoria, British Columbia, Canada, who told Canadians the fish were safe to eat and that radiation is like a banana and a potato chip and walking in the sunshine, which the judge barred me from using as a motive. And then the judge, the last trip down, barred me from having any expert witnesses. And then the judge on the last trip down barred me from using the two one-hour videos that I'm accused of saying salacious statements in when they're political hyperbole, and that the context was in the entire video where that is barred and only the soundbite of the words I said, not even that, a transcript, is going to be used to convict me. These are what they have already put into place. And this person here killed my donor. This is known as Louis L'Amour. He's from Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. And he harassed one of our donors so much, they committed suicide. And now he's out there since I was on the ocean when this happening, on the Expeditions for Life, looking at the fallout from the Fukushima Expeditions for Life. And a quick explanation and a solid explanation of that is this chart you see is a representation of the coastline of British Columbia, Canada, where we took the documentation from. We went and put this boat together and traveled the whole coastline of British Columbia, Canada for 260 days, 15,000 miles. And this video you're watching is up in Louise Narrows. That's where I'm going to show you the pictures from. You see that sign there? You'll see that in pictures coming up. But that's Louise Narrows, as you can see in the video. And we're just going to show you the pictures. Now, the GPS for that place is in the bottom right-hand corner. And then I went right directly on the beaches. And so when you look at the big scope of it, these species, and so here's close-up and far away zooms. Remember, in the background, you can see the same thing. In the video, you're seeing the same thing. And so in the tidal zones in Louise Narrows, in the Haida-Gwaii, formerly known as the Queen Charlotte Islands, there's an extinction event throughout the coastline, but this is what I'm using for an example. And as you can see, this whole coastline is now emaciated permanently. There's nothing there whatsoever. We went right smack up on the beaches in the Little Zodiac repeatedly. And so all the species are missing from the tidal pools except for a tiny handful. These are not it. This is pre-Fukushima, 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 and of course post-Fukushima, post-Fukushima. And as you look at the whole girth of it, it doesn't look like that anymore, yeah? No longer when you walk around or you have this feeling you're stepping on life, because that's what I used to look like. Now this is what it looked like. And because now we are heading to court, because when I came back off the ocean to tell that story, when I came back to tell the story that I'm telling you right now, this story of traveling that entire coastline and documenting it, not only above water, but underwater. When you look at that story, I come ashore and then I'm arrested. Now, at the same time, when I first show up to court, my name is not on the registry. Police approach me. Instead of seeing the judge, they want me to come to the police station and give a statement. The police officer informs me that he's watched 500 hours of my videos at the same time in front of witnesses. And so they dragged me all the way down from my first appearance in Victoria, not to see the judge, but to trick me into going into the police station. And I politely told him to fuck off. I used those words, by the way. And I asked him why my name wasn't up on the TV screen like everybody else accused of crimes. Not guilty, but accused. Now, since this has happened, I was character assassinated in the media. I was character assassinated by the Globe and Mail, who broke the story 4 days before I was arrested. And Globe and Mail, of course, is the biggest producer of uranium stocks in Canada for the handful of corporations that are doing the uranium. And so what they do is they tell people the uranium prices are going up when they're not actually going up. There's only speculation from them in the biggest media, print media in Canada. People take their lifelong hard earnings and invest it in the stocks because you should be able to trust the major media in Canada. Yeah? Well, nobody got their money back. And the Globe and Mail crew, what they're doing is cashing in their stocks when people buy into their articles. And they have articles, and as I covered in video after video, the Globe and Mail then come out and accuse me of death threats. After watching my video where I said I was charged with criminal harassment, not death threats, but criminal harassment, there's a big difference in those two charges and statements. And the ability for anybody to follow through on a political hyperbole is well known. It's called political hyperbole. The context was in the video, which was barred in desperation by Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution and the University of Victoria, who worked in tandem with the FBI and Sandwich Police Department in Victoria, British Columbia, Canada, conspired, those four institutions, two of them justice systems, conspired without a court order to censor me on YouTube before I was arrested, before any charges were filed. 2.5 years ago, the University of Victoria and Woods Hole tried to have me charged 2 different times and didn't succeed in order to silence me the first time as I was leaving on this first expedition for life. And then had me charged on 2 trumped up charges when I came ashore. And they are the people who told you it was safe to eat fish. These are murderers. And the only way to save their skin right now is to kill me, is to get rid of me, because they've smeared me in the media, they've smeared me throughout the internet, and they continue to smear me and attack me relentlessly and bludgeon me by sending out people like this, who were attacking me the entire time I was on the ocean during the expedition. These people are from Victoria, British Columbia. This is a murderer. This person has to be brought to justice. This person was also quoted in my court papers in an article that was published in Gibson, not too far away from me, slandering me. This was the person they used as a source. That's in my court papers. Now, at the same time, I have been arrested and vilified and demonized right across Canada. The judge has taken away all of my ability to have context or motive. And so they took away my expert witnesses. They took away bananas, potato chips, and walking in the sunshine. And the difference between a banana and potato chip and walking in the sunshine is they're talking about potassium-40. They're talking about natural radiation. They're talking about harmless, indigenous, everyday background that are not able to mutate fruit flies or anything. That if you have a gram of potassium, you have about 160,000 emitters. They can't mutate fruit flies. And a gram of man-made stuff is what I talk about, is 88 times 37 billion ionizing, radiating atoms with vicious isotopes, and that any of them will give you cancer 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. But before that happens, there's 1,800 diseases, illnesses, autoimmune deficiencies that will show up, like Alzheimer's and dementia, and autism and diabetes, and heart, and liver and lung, and respiratory, pituitary, adrenaline gland problems. There's over 1,800 that will manifest. Why that isotope is in your body for decades, building a tumor, the white blood cells are attacking all day, every day, and displacing the oxygen molecule in your body. You are breathing it in, you were eating it in, you weren't warned about it. And so Victoria, British Columbia is the capital of British Columbia. Victoria, British Columbia is the capital of the government in British Columbia. Victoria, British Columbia is where they have the Star Chamber, where they're unaccountable. Like the judge who now has shown us that bananas now are terrorist weapons. Potato chips are now terrorist weapons. Walking in sunshine could be considered a terrorist weapon by making those rulings. And by taking away the ability to show the whole video to have context, they took away the context of the crime that was allegedly committed. By taking away my ability to bring in experts, witnesses, they took away the ability to assert that bananas, potato chips, and walking in the sunshine are good for you, not harmful to you. That's what man-made radiation is. That's why I have terrorist laws and nuclear waste sites. I'm leaving soon to head down to Victoria to court for tomorrow morning. I am seriously worried. I do have great fear for what will happen if they kill me to this planet without a possibility of someone out there being pushing back with the proper narratives like I do. If you want to understand that what happened in Japan was not an accident, you think about this building here. This is what they say is Unit 4 in Japan, but this is what it looks like. Now, inside of that building, according to the experts, is that. Now, that is the same reason why they have me arrested. It's because they tell you these types of lies. They're telling you these types of lies because this is an extinction event for the Pacific Ocean, like I just showed you. Like I showed you and showed you and showed you and showed you. They took down 300 of my presentations, but yet the videos I was arrested for were taken down with ghost counts while I was in jail. These old videos, up to a year old, were singled out in the 12-hour period that I was in jail. Now, how is that possible? That somebody knew the exact 2 videos that I was charged with, made up ghost accounts and knocked them off my account, but before I left court, I had a court order to take down anything that might mention the University of Victoria or Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution off my site within a 24-hour period of social networking. And I accomplished that. I took down over 300 postings, videos, where I showed them physically telling the lie and then showing you the documentation. And how that is a crime, I'll have no idea, and I'm sure nobody else does. But that was the crime, or I was going to be locked up again. And the week before I was arrested, my computer with expensive software on it was killed. This was number 9 out of 9 computers in less than a year that were killed in my home and my internet. How many computers do you buy every year? Do you buy 9? And why were the videos knocked down while I was in jail with ghost accounts? Why didn't I get a court order? All of these, and then the particular endless, relentless, vicious, I'm talking unbelievable, vicious assaults that I've been under through the media, but through Victoria's nuclear PR firms. Hang on. Look, how did it become a crime? How did I become so evil that they want me arrested as I was leaving to go out and do these expeditions? Why was it necessary for the Globe and Mail, for the CBC, for the Japanese Times to weigh in on my arrest for a slur? What made that, when that happens, people are fighting, there's all kinds of crimes every day, real crimes. Why was I singled out for the biggest medias in the planet? Why was I demonized so hard and so villain? Why wasn't my story told when they watched the video and acknowledged that when CBC done 2 interviews with me? Why didn't they even quote me when they put University of Victoria mass murderer up on their podium after my arrest to justify what he done? Where he continued to tell people that is like a banana and a potato chip and walking in sunshine, which is a blatant lie, which is an easy to prove lie, which is why they barred that part of it in the court. Why did they work so hard? Why did they put so much time and energy in that? And they still can't defeat me. Then I have to worry now, because now it's real for them. They weren't able to get rid of me. They weren't able to ostracize me. They weren't able to vilify me and knock me out, knock me down, because they can't stop the truth. Because they can't stop that reality. Because they can't change the depth of the Pacific Ocean. And these people had a lot of money at stake. The University of Victoria, that person got over $600,000 and then raised $600 a sample from 600 communities every month. We're talking staggering amounts of money. We're talking Woods Hole with $5 million here, $7 million there from donations. So they can go on expeditions and come in and tell everybody that it was like a banana and that they got more radiation from flying on the airplane to that lecture than they did from Fukushima or anybody else. Now, we know there's an extinction event. We know that they came after me and attacked me and have tried to assassinate me. Not only character-wise, but remember I was gravely ill a couple of months ago when I came back from Victoria's last court appearance. where 2 healthy teeth fell out of my mouth in just a couple of days, and the third one is still okay. But I thought for sure that one was going to fall out. Healthy teeth, where my hair fell out, where I couldn't get out of bed for days and days and days. The sickness I've never felt in my life like that. And where I take care of myself, I never use the same utensil twice on the stove or in my cooking. I wash everything repeatedly. That, like, you got to understand what I'm really truly like. That I don't say my words lightly. That I don't say my words without reason. That I don't say anything I say here without the proof to back it up. Which is what I have done on this site repeatedly, endlessly, relentlessly, and the whole coastline of Canada. 260 days. Do the people who think that I'm some bad person think that for some reason it's bad to go out and take pictures of the coastline? And then come in and say, hey, wait a second, everything is missing. It doesn't look like it's supposed to look. I have 14,000 hours underwater, so I'm not just some random person. I've run over a dozen commercial diving vessels. I'm not some random person. Before I come to British Columbia, when they closed the industry on the East Coast, I had 30,000 hooks. I'm not some random person. I had 120 gill nets. I'm not some random person. I've worked every industry on both oceans. I'm not some random person. I've studied nuclear for over 8 years. I have over 7,000 lectures. I'm not some random person. And I've done 260 days, the entire coastline, repeatedly. And I provide the documentation, the GPSs of every spot I've been to. It's all up at my website, thenuclearproctologist.org. It's free for everybody on the planet. Is that why I was arrested? Is that why I should be afraid of being assassinated? Is that why I feel like I'm going to be assassinated? Because the constant bombardment upon me now for a full year of these people in this system and this industry and their patsies, this constant relentless attack upon my character, upon the way I talk, upon the way I look, upon the fact that I'm old and crippled and in a wheelchair, was used to bludgeon me. You're not going to believe a guy in a wheelchair, are you? Those comments have been out there repeatedly in my live streams when I first started. This was the assertions. This is the people that we were up against. Do you think it's a far stretch with everything they have done, including the death of Jeff Palco, caused by Louis L'Amour from Victoria, British Columbia? We showed the emails. You'll find links below my video to the documentation. I put it out there a couple of weeks ago in a 20-minute presentation of how our biggest donor at the time, originally, was murdered, was stalked, was vilified, harassed, right up until the day he committed suicide. And the people that done it wanted the boat that was donated by that person. We built the cabin on it, we built everything else, and we ran it for 260 days without their help. But they donated the boat. And that boat was, the person who killed Jeff Palco was trying to get Jeff Palco to give him the boat before they killed him. So why and how is it possible that I'm the bad person for going out and taking pictures of the coastline? Well, the industry is worth billions and trillions of dollars, and that they spend billions and billions every year on 2,000 nuclear PR firms, and that nuclear has nothing to do with a banana or potato chip or walking in sunshine or getting on an airplane. Those assertions, the people who tell you to eat the fish because there's more natural radiation in a fish than there is from Fukushima. Look, a single atom will give you a cancer. A single atom. Let's talk about the reactors for a second in Japan. Let's talk about the actual reality of what really did happen. And let's do that in a large format coming up. This is Fukushima. A massive earthquake. A tsunami whipped up like a wood chipper through 400 kilometers up that coastline. Multiple meltdowns. Chernobyl wasn't a complete meltdown. Chernobyl was 1/3 the size and a 30% meltdown of any of the reactors. This is Unit 1. This was 3 times the size of Chernobyl. This was 100% meltdown. This is still ongoing. Chernobyl stopped after 10 days. And Kofi Annan said in 2000 at the UN podium that over 3 million children with permanent disabilities. We also know over 1 million people died in 5,000 studies published by the New York Academy of Science. This is a referee Unit 1. These are what the reactors look like. The reactor bulb, you see at the top there, the cap is close to the top of the building, and the fuel pools are at the top of the building. This is Unit 2. This is 100% meltdown, melt through, melt out. And the Murons picked up some material, but it was irradiated material. Fissionable products will irradiate material like a screwdriver is magnetized on a car battery the same way. You can magnetize screwdrivers all day. You can radiate material all day. This is Unit 3. This is completely gone. This is mixed oxide fuel. This is 2 million times worse than any other reactor on the planet. They used reclaimed uranium, reclaimed plutonium from a chain reaction from missiles left over from the Cold War. 40, 50-year-old nuclear missiles were reprocessed, repackaged, and then burnt in this. All that material is released into the environment. When they blew up, the 5 reactor cores that were on the roof, up high in the building, the 10 years of nuclear fuel they store there, because you can't take it out for 10 years. It has to sit in water pools where it boils off 220,000 liters of extraordinarily deadly, highly, unimaginably high radioactive material that was bombarded with X-rays and neutrons and gamma shine, not only the fissionable product. This is reactor 3, and this is reactor 4. All of these buildings are multiple. Each of these buildings have 5 reactor cores on the roof. That's 5 reactor cores gone. Chernobyl, you still can't eat the meat, sell the land, or drink the milk in certain parts of Ireland, Scotland, and UK 30 years later, which was nothing compared to Fukushima. Let's keep going. Now the reactors are supposed to look like that. You see that bulb at the top of the middle of the building? It's no longer at the top of the middle of the building, yeah? I got to bring up another screen to do that. Hang on. That bulb, right up behind up top of your page in the top right-hand corner, yeah, that bulb is supposed to be at the top of the building, in the center of the building, at the top of the reactor core. So the reactor core is not there. Now that building is the one they came out and showed you all those pretty pictures of. Yeah? That's Unit 4. That's what they claim is Unit 4. You have Seth Thorne from BBS and CBS.
Of the decommissioning work taking place here in Reactor 4.
At the end,
claiming he was inside of Unit 4. Claiming he's inside. Now, what happened to that country? Think about what happened to this country. Think about how 400 kilometers of the country was wiped out. Think about how this building looks. And I'm going to play another clip. This is TEPCO a couple of months ago in Washington, D.C. at the press club. And this is what he told the Americans. It looks like.
And Fukushima Daiichi stage, right after the accident, it was a post emergency condition. But right now, gradually became the decommissioning stage, more stable decommissioning stage. And that's that, as I mentioned, the successful completion of the...
Now that's TEPCO, not me. That's TEPCO, not me. At the press club, telling you that there is inside of that building. Not me. No, not me at all. No. That's TEPCO. I'm smoking a cigarette. They don't have 7,000 chemicals. They're called CNT, Canadian Natural Tobacco. And they burn the exact same way as cigarettes with 7,000 chemicals. And the same scientists who had me arrested, the same scientists won't tell you about the 7,000 chemicals. Won't use those words. Won't utter that sentence. And do all kinds of study on nicotine, trying to link it to cancer in that institutions. And they've never linked it because they won't use the 7,000 chemicals in a cigarette. They won't use a cigarette to link it to cancer. They'll use nicotine. See? And we'll take a cigarette and say to the students, okay, let's see if this causes cancer, because it got 7,000 chemicals. That's exactly what the nuclear industry is doing to you. That's exactly what TEPCO done to you. Not only that, that was a major insult, a major slap in your face, that the media never questioned that. The media never said, hey, it looks like that, dummy, moron, dipstick, idiot, freak. And I'm going to call up the passport visa and tell them to take it the fuck away from you because you shouldn't be in this country telling people that shit. No. They said, hey, where's the martinis? Hang on a second. I get my glasses. And I'm going to read you something for the people out there. I'm going to point out to you, President Abraham Lincoln did not feel he could go out, he could call out the Federal Army until Fort Sumter was attacked. And that's the exact reason why he told the commander of Fort Sumter to attack, because he knew that's what would cause the Carolinians to attack them and cause that war, that endless war. We didn't go to Spain. They didn't go to war in Spain until the USS Maine explosion. And nobody knows what caused that explosion, but that was enough to go to war with Spain and cause that slaughter. Some people might have thought President Johnson, Lyndon B. Johnson, wanted to send troops to Vietnam. You may recall we had to wait for the Gulf of Tonkin, which now they admit didn't happen. And some people might think Mr. Woodrow Wilson wanted to get us into the World War I. And you may recall we had to wait for the Lusitanian sinking to get into that war. And some people might think President Theodore Roosevelt, these are all American presidents that Canadians participated in these wars, wanted to get us into World War II. You may recall we had to wait for Pearl Harbor. And you may recall that George W. Bush wanted to go in and wreck Iraq and Afghanistan to get 10,000 Taliban, but they had to wait for the Twin Towers to get knocked down. You really want to understand that? Go look up Building 6 on my site. Beautiful Girl by Dana on YouTube. And you actually understand what the rest of that stuff was. I just read to you why staged events is what they got us in every war. That your 7,000 chemicals in your cigarette, they don't tell you about that because that is what these people are like. That is why they got the job. That is why lobbyists are like they are. Lobbyists are not even supposed to exist. We're digressing. But the same people behind what we're looking at here, this big hoax, are the same people, their litany, their history, their corporate personhood is behind all of that. And that's why I am arrested, is because of corporate personhood. It's the law school of UVic that is coming after me. It's not that individual. Yeah? I'm barred from UVic, not that person's property. You get it yet? The whole law school has come after me. I contacted 16 lawyers. 16. 3 of them said they would take my case. 3 of them never took my case. But I'm the bad guy. It's such a terrible crime to have political hyperbole, and it's such a crime to get a warrant to take the video down, they use ghost accounts. When I have a court order to take down everything with their mention in it, and those happen to have their mention in it, they were covered under the court order. So why would they knock them down with ghost accounts before I got out of jail? Why would they do that? I don't know. They got something to hide? Why would they bar the video, the 2 one-hour videos, the context of the crimes that I'm accused of? Why would they ban the context, bananas, potato chips, and walking in the sunshine of why I was upset? Why would they ban my ability to have an expert witness? Why would they drag me all the way to Victoria, the police department, and not have me in front of the judge, but try to drag me down to the police department? Why did the media accuse me of being death threats when I'm actually charged with political hyperbole? When I'm charged with, I'm charged with criminal harassment of nuclear puke machines, public speakers. The 2 biggest public speakers in North America about radiation, neither one of them are nuclear scientists or experts. Both of them are marine chemists. and where no media has challenged him under assertions that it's like a banana or like natural radiation in the environment. How is that possible? That now all of a sudden I have to go to court with all this and everything else piled on my shoulders? Because I'm the guy for the job, I guess. Is that why I'm here on this planet? Is because I'm that guy? I guess so. Am I the person that wants the job? No. Do I like what I'm doing? No. Do I look for people that could do it for, do a better job? Yes. Do I find them? No. Do I find people that have the energy and the time? No. And what would happen if I walk away? Besides the fact I could never live with myself. Besides the fact that I've done 260 days and 15,000 miles of the coastline. And that I've sacrificed it all. And that I've almost died I don't know how many times on these expeditions throughout this entire coastline. Where what looks like straightforward is actually one of the worst tidal zones, raging tidal areas in the world. Nothing was easy at any time. And for up to 5 months straight on that boat there. And I spent very little at it the whole time, maybe 2 weeks total in hotel rooms. Because I was under siege. I was vilified. I was demonized and attacked and harassed and stalked. I was put up in the media, and I had people on YouTube like this guy here constantly while I was on the ocean, making things up, saying I was faking it, saying I wasn't taking pictures of the life there, saying I lied to everybody, saying I was a thief, saying I was a murderer when this guy caused a donor of ours to commit suicide by stalking them to try to take the boat away from me while I was on the ocean. While I was on the ocean, he was trying to get the guy who gave me the boat to swear out a statement to try to get a boat. This was a donation. A donation. How does an organization survive if people are going to do stuff like that to you? They donate to you, and then they take it away from you and smear you. So anybody can destroy any donation, any organization by that technique. But this person is at it non-stop, relentlessly. We called him up and he cursed and swore and screamed at me on the phone. This person has contacted everybody in the comment sections. He's subscribed to everybody that ever talked to me. He subscribed to every viewer up on another channel, up on another site, livestream.com. This person has contacted media and had articles wrote about me. This person hid away. We got his face, finally. We flipped a picture. We got this look of him. He was in my community. My community. He looks like that. We flipped the picture, joined it together, straightened it up, stuck his name down there and his crimes. Here's a sound of his voice. I'm going to turn that up and try that again. Oh, that was the picture. Here's the sound of his voice. Now what he's doing is, after Fukushima, he drove into the mountains to fake it. But this is 5 years ago.
So as I mentioned before, you have to wait for this bar. These are 20-second cycles. You have to. Whoa, that's really high, folks. At 1.2, you're to exit the area. That's 1.3. Now we have to wait for 5 of these cycles to know if it's actually. Okay, dangerous.
Okay. Now here he is a couple of weeks ago in my community. This is 5 years later.
Yes, it's radioactive. Yes, I shouldn't be touching it right now. You're absolutely correct. So I'll be doing a test later on. I've already tested them, but yeah, just to... Whoops. Gotta hit the reset. Alright, so yeah, soaps, same thing with the soaps, you know.
Okay, watch. It's the same Geiger counter 5 years ago.
Very reactionary.
Hang on. Look at that. Now, do you think for 1 second that he wasn't raising money across Canada doing exactly that to the Geiger counter to get, and then he took down that website. How many views did he have? Millions and millions and millions on his Connecting Dots one website.
Oh, this is unbelievable, folks. Just unbelievable.
No, it's not. You got it right there, mister. You
Yes,
murderer. You freak. You assassin. He came in my community. He didn't go along and look at the spots I looked at. It's not like we didn't provide the documentation up at my website. Not like you can find it. All you gotta do is punch it into the GPS. Right? Not like you couldn't go to all the spots I went to. Lots of spots were close to him. He's in Victoria, top of Vancouver Island. Guess what? We were in Victoria, top of Vancouver Island. And the whole west coast of Canada. 5 months by myself to finish it all off. And so there is no doubt about what I'm saying about an extinction event. And there's no doubt about what I'm saying about an assassination. They have a lot to lose. They have everything to lose. Their friends, their neighbors, their families, just to start with a few, and their students at these institutions. When they find out what they actually done to me, if this goes to court, if it goes to trial, they have no way of beating me. They have no way of winning against me. The only solution is to kill me before the trial. That's the only route they got left. And I got no intentions of being murdered by freaks, by cowards, by monsters, real monsters. These people are real monsters. This guy is truly a monster. What he done, continues to do, and had done, and what he done across Canada, and then come out and vilify me and accuse me of a death that he caused. He stalked a person right up until he committed death. We show that in the emails. In the video, there's a link below. Help catch Victoria, British Columbia killer Louis L'Amour. You'll find links below. I just posted it less than 2 weeks ago. How did I become the bad guy for doing this whole coastline? I don't know. I was taking pictures and understanding what it looked like and doesn't look like, and being able to convey that. Is that what makes me so dangerous? The truth? The horror? The absolute horror of the truth? The unfathomable reality. We are in desperation and troubles. We are in unimaginable trouble. Those pictures are all from the same spot. Pre-Fukushima and post-Fukushima. And then my whole site is like that. But the pre-Fukushima pictures, just go look them up yourself. The whole coastline was like the pictures on. The whole coastline was like this. The entire coastline of British Columbia, Canada, was like that. Is that not something special? Is that not something we should covet? Is that not what made unique here in British Columbia? Now it looks like that, the lowest tide of the year, instead of that. How can you get from there to here and say, don't matter, Dana, don't care, Dana, nuclear is so important, we want to keep telling the lie about bananas, potato chips, and walking line, till everybody's dead and nothing is alive out there. Now remember, the most important part about you can take away from all of that. Not only did the 5,600 species that are highly visible, there's 600 algae, the 480 species of worms. I documented there's less than 4 species of the worms that we found in those zones. There was less than 28 species of the 600 kelps. There was less than 5 species of the 78 sea anemones. There was less than 5 species of the 76 sea starfish. And each species of these bigger animals come in multiple vibrant colors, as I showed you. There could be up to 500 per square meter of the sea anemones. This is just one species. They come in multiple colors, up to 3 feet long. You see those sea urchins? Do you think I would really put my beach? I was able to go up on every beach because there were sea urchins as I was coming in there. You think there's sea urchins right there as I was coming in? Because my boat would be full of holes. It would have sank if I land on that. Hang on, I'll get rid of that big stupid nose. Killer. The one farthest over on your left, What I'm saying is, I'm making a statement before I go down and I'm possibly murdered, killed in a staged car truck accident, or who knows what, or some random mugger kills me, or whatever it is they're planning to do to me. That everything up at my site at the nuclear proctologist from all these expeditions is free. It's all free. It's all documented. And it's free for you. You take it, you make documentaries. You tell that story. It's free. You can monetize it. It's yours. You own that. It's not that, but everything up on my website is the coastline of Canada. And if they kill me, all of you out there that see this, that watch this, you have an obligation now to tell that story. Because I can't, right? And there's nothing you can do to change that right now. We're heading down. And I have to take bodyguards with me to protect me because of what they have done and continue to do and intend to do. And the other things I'm not going to say publicly because I don't want them to understand what I'm doing. How I'm going to try to protect myself from being assassinated. Because this is what they do. This is their way out. They demonize you. Remember, the week after I was arrested, the police officer who said he watched 500 hours of my videos sent the RCMP to my door claiming I was suicidal, setting the stage for me to be suicidal. Like they done with Jeff Palco, to get rid of him because he was donating. Why I was on the ocean, murdered, in order to stop me, because they couldn't stop me. Remember, before I went, they tried to get me arrested. Yeah? And just before that, they tried to arrest it again. And when I come back, they had 2 extended charges. They could have got me for the first one any time during the other expedition, but they waited. They waited until November. And then I decided I was going to raise money to do the documentary. 4 days later, I was arrested. Within a week, anyway, I was arrested. Okay, so I feel better. I've told the story per se. It's not the whole story. It's not the complete story. It never will be. You don't have time. And I can't talk about certain court papers until after the trial, if I live that long. But what I am going to do is after I come back, if I survive, is we're going on another expedition. Right away. We start packing the day I get back. And we're gone within 3 days or so, I'm gone. If I got to go by myself, I'm gone by myself. If I raise enough money, we'll bring other people. And we need, ideally, to be able to live stream the coastline before the next time I got to go to court, which will be for 3 full days, which is 1 month. So we're going to spend 3 weeks on the Fukushima Expeditions for Life, re-looking at the coastline. And you can donate, and we'll have a fundraiser if I make it back right away on Tuesday. I'll be back Monday. But Tuesday, we're going to have a fundraiser, and you can donate at thenuclearproctologist.org with your credit cards, or at PayPal, Dana Durnford at hotmail.com. And I'm trying to catch up to the emails. Please have patience. You got to realize how many things I got on my plate, how difficult it is, but do not let that stop you from asking me questions or trying to talk to me. Don't let that discourage you. That's why I'm here. I don't have the general ability that a normal organization would have, but I have abilities, and I exercise it smartly as best as I can, and I make sure a little bit's there for everybody, so I can communicate as much as I can, but that's all I can do until, the reality of it is, how many organizations are out there? And how can they survive if people don't help them? That's the point, isn't it? What I'm doing is not, it's the nuclearproctologist.org is all about Fukushima. But I cover all nuclear, but it's all about the 8 million other species on this planet who don't have a voice and are being exterminated. Like the 4.2 million other species that didn't receive the coastline of Canada. That is not possible, but yet that is what happened. and that the mass die-offs throughout the entire coastline, the emaciated whales, the starving birds, 500,000 birds up the coastline, the mass missing of the feeder fish, the anchovies, the sardines, the herring, the krill, the squid, the very, very energy basis of the food chain that we understand for the birds and the mammals and everything else. And the 300 plus species of birds on the coastline, 168 residential and 160 odd migratory that come here every year or are here all year long, we only counted 11 species. The 500,000 birds that died recently up the coastline, the murres, saltwater murres, can dive to 600 feet. They starved to death. 500,000. We've never seen that before on our planet that size, where they actually physically starved to death, where there was nothing inside of them, not even in their tracks. And so it's in their best interest to kill me. It's in their best interest because I'm it, in the context of people that are front and center and are able to do things, or able to shake and move and dance with these people, are able to do the interviews and radio and everything else, and willing and dedicated, just like the hounds. See, sometimes I lose track of it and I see it's me, right? But it's not me. I know that. I get that. Trust me. It's the hounds. Dana and the hounds. It always will, always has, and that will never change. It's Dana and the hounds that took this whole coastline. I couldn't do it without everybody. How could I? Without everybody donating everything. That's what an organization has to do. Is that so bad? Is it better if the nuclear industry gave it all to me? Would that make it better? No, of course not. You wouldn't trust me, would you? When the world does it, and I put it all up for free, and I come out and I fight for everybody, for everything, for every nation, for every race, for every religion. And I'm not bigoted or racist or prejudiced or biased. We all got the same hopes and dreams. It don't matter who you are or where you are. It happens to be that I'm Canadian and I'm privileged. And so the onus is on me to do the things that need to be done because nobody else is going to do it. And if I don't do it, how do I live with myself? How can I live with that regret? Because I know better. Well, I can't. I'm a Canadian. I'm not raised to turn my back. I'm raised to put my head down and charge forward smartly. Let's come over and say hugs for everybody. I know I keep doing it, so. Let me keep going. Let me fix that. Am I zoomed in or something? Oh, I am zoomed in. Yeah, another expedition. We leave next week. As soon as we get back tomorrow, we'll start packing for the expedition. It's going to be 3 weeks. It's going to be hardcore. And it's going to be different this time. Trust me. We're going to interview everything that walks and moves this time in every community that we can hit in a 3-week period. We're going after the old-timers, the fishermen, the shop owners, the gas docks, taxi drivers. We are going to pound and ground this system like it never felt if they don't assassinate me. And if they do, if I don't come back, then you got to do what I just said. That's your job. I don't know how, who, or when, or where, but I know why, because it has to be done. Hugs for everybody. Ellie, Mr. Jim, Shawnee, Ken, thank you, honey, by the way. Thirst. Ellie, thank you, everybody. I know. Strontium, just cruising. Biddy, just going to run through everybody. Shawnee, hi, everybody. Ferpilia, see, I almost said your name that time. I'll get it. Give me another couple of years. I'll get it. Rob, rather, sorry. And so your comments, your precious comments will all be gone after the video is over. Thomas Ackerman. Hey, buddy. Thomas is YouTuber. He's one of the few out there pounding and grinding for us. You can find him on YouTube, H. Thomas Ackerman. And he's not some random person, trust me, that just yells in videos or talks in videos. He's articulating, educated, and an incredible, unimaginable artist, and has punched in the time to make sure that the things he say are well flushed out and well appreciated. Elmwood, hi everybody. I just can't say enough thank yous to everybody. CJ, anybody I'm missing, my apologies, because sometimes I'm looking at multiple screens. Just wanted to make sure there's a record, because Google will get rid of all these comments. Just so that anyone new here that's coming by this video in a few years, at the end of it, they understand there was more to this. When I said Dana and the Hounds of Fukushima, this is a tiny fraction of them. And they're treasures and precious, and have changed the world permanently for the better. And that if something happens to me, they are representations of me. And they will find their voices. This I know. This I understand about life. So hugs for everybody. I'll finish packing today. We're heading down the Victoria courts, where they're probably going to ban me from talking. And we'll be back on Tuesday live streaming with an extended all-day show on Tuesday, a fundraiser all day, covering all the topics, all kinds of pre-trips footage coming up, underwater footage. Going to be a whole day, good day, a righteous day. And we're going to start out, hopefully, this time we're going to live stream the coastline every day at low tide. Let them put that in their pipe and smoke it. Yeah? Hugs for everybody. Take care, everybody. Bye, Miss Milky. Thank you again, Jan. Check her site out, folks. Find links below my video. Lewis, take care, everybody.